Hello, hello, engineers and AI tinkerers from all over the world. I'd like to show you my vision for ContextCore. ContextCore is the local first memory layer that compiles AI chat histories across multiple IDEs or CLI agents. It makes these chats searchable via our visualizer, by keyword or optional semantic rug, and exposes them to agents over MCP, turning foggy memory into usable data for long-running features and fixing regressions. I'll start with the MCP server because as an engineer I already found it extremely useful. As soon as ContextCore is done with the first scan through the conversations on the local machine and on multiple machines, as I will soon explain, it starts listening for MCP requests. This allows agents to search conversations history when directed to. Our projects these days grow faster and move quickly from feature to feature. With ContextCore, even a vague memory can be turned into valuable clues, making investigations and resuming tasks faster. You can use cheaper models to browse and compile history before engaging more powerful models to exploit the conclusions. Right now I'm showing you how the MCP server is working behind the scenes. And as you can see, it found already a lot of information about what I asked it to search, not consuming a terribly much context either. And as you can see, it's coming soon with the conclusions based on the request time I gave it. I asked to go back over. I asked it to search how we fix the overlapping images in the carousel on our website, which is a task that happened about a week ago. And I know very well what happened in the task. And now you will see that it found exactly what happened, how we did it, what was the solution, and everything necessary to continue developing the solution. So now I can continue doing whatever I want to do with this feature. So yeah, I think that's an amazing feature. And yeah, now going back to the visualizer a bit. As you can see, this is a progressive web application. It's easy to install if you check the project's README. The search system has plenty of ways to zoom in and filter through whatever time range you want. You can do instant filters. And you can search by messages or by threads. So it's two different concepts. The thread is of course the conversation itself, all the conversations in a particular session, with sometimes a huge subject. This is done by AI. So if you want, you can enable AI summarization of the entire conversation. And of course, you can also search through messages. And searching through messages will show you individual messages from a certain thread. So if you click the message, it's going to go straight at that message in the particular thread, and you can scroll up and down and see the entire conversation in whatever agent you might have had it. So you can see here these pills indicate what harness I used. For example, this is Visual Studio Code, this is Claude Code, and the project. Speaking of projects, these views that I've been showing you can be customized. So for example, this one is a view that is focused on architecture on a certain project, and you can create new views. So when you create a new view, you can select the projects, which allows you to go cross harness. So it doesn't matter what harness you have a project in. You can select all of that instances of the project in that harness. And then you can create a scope based on those. When you create a scope, for example, this one, it will have a multi-selection of the projects that you selected, and you can select multiple scopes, and then you can create basically a new view, which will always search in that particular scope. What else? I would like to also show you the clipboard basket that you've been probably seeing here on the bottom of the screen. Quite an important feature for me. So as you probably in my use case, sometimes I make this investigation. Okay, when did I fix a certain thing? When did I do something? So then I end up having a number of conversations that I can extract context from, and I put all of the context in this clipboard basket, and you can probably see where this is going. Because let me see, search for architecture, we open one of these, so I can also show you that you can select text from the conversation itself, click this one, and it will go in the clipboard basket. So what happens with this is that if I click this lovely button here, I will copy all of this to the clipboard, everything that I have been shopping for, and I can spin up, I can just of course put it in a CLI or a IDE and continue the conversation based on the selected pieces of context. Also important is the favorites view. So we have a system of favorites, and in the favorites you can flag messages or threads and group them however you want, and you can even add custom messages. For example, you can add your favorite prompts, things that you use often in your development flow, but here you can add them in a rather granular way. You have them in separate pieces, so that you can assemble these pieces of context as you see fit based on your needs into this clipboard basket. Something else that the clipboard basket does, this button here, is that if you want to create something more permanent from your context, you can spin up a new agent. And what happens here is that this is a feature that is for now not very visible in the UI, but it's totally visible in the documentation and in the configuration file. So you configure a path where you would like your agents to live, and the path is based on the project, right? So you see that I have these two projects here. These are the ContextCore server and frontend. And this feature allows you to place an agent directly in that project based on the stuff that you selected in the clipboard, or you can just I don't care about the clipboard. So if we don't want to get the stuff from the clipboard, maybe we want this and we want this, and with all this we can do something. This is custom text that you can enter inside the agent. And what about this? What are these? Because these are not search results, these are not search messages or search threads. This comes from sources. Sources are a feature that is not visible or not very configurable using the UI yet, but in the config JSON, you can add custom paths from your storage where you have important architectural information about the project, JSON files, agent files, whatever text that is usable by an agent, pretty much. So I have these MD files where I have various architectural notes from the project. Most of them also, okay, I confess, all of them generated by AI. But then I can add them into agents by selecting them from here. When I want to make an agent that I simply need for a certain feature. So if I would work at cache features, then I would go through here and I would add previous work that I've done in features, such as caching right now, and things that are useful for the agent. After which I give a name to the agent, I create the agent, and what will happen then is that also in the config JSON of ContextCore, you have the path where to store the agents, and the agent builder will generate GitHub Copilot compatible MD and Claude code compatible MD in the appropriate paths inside your project, so that you can immediately just jump to your IDE or jump to your CLI or whatever and use the agent. So yeah, I think this pretty much covers it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any kind of questions, feel free to reach out via the GitHub issues page, comment in the video, and I'll figure out more contact methods as we grow along. Thanks again for watching. Bye.